Excuse me. Excuse me, that other one just passed, so I need to activate that. It's probably just gonna buy. Let me do this off screen here. Probably just gonna go ahead and buy another day traders one. Um, yeah, blue the Bullinox one. You know what? May just buy a Bullinox one because they're only. I think they're only $15 at the moment. Let me see. Let's see here. Yep, they're only $15, so I'm just gonna buy a Bullinox one, and we'll trade it live on stream. So give me just a minute here to purchase this, and I think I may have a Bullinox affiliate code. Pretty sure I do actually. What? I just realized I didn't have any evals. Let's see. What the heck is happening here? All right, there we go. Okay, that's done. So give it just a minute to populate here, and I'll open the project X there for Bull and Ox. Obviously, we can go nowhere until we get out of this mother bar situation. But it looks to me as if last week was a TTO. So, which creates broadening formation. Good lord. Come on. There we go. Okay. Creates a broadening formation there. And let's see where the bottom of that one would be. Way down here. Sometimes trading view doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, there we go. So we got a very wide, well, very narrow at the top, but very wide at the bottom broadening formation there. So, I mean, here's the thing. So last week was two up slightly, but red. However, it was also a doji. So unless we get above this, I wouldn't be comfortable going long. But at the same time, we could come back and fill this, volume imbalance. So if we come back and fill the volume imbalance, I would want to see it close on a small time frame below, above that, the 62.99. to maybe target 6308, but that's kind of a tight window. You're not going to get a ton of, movement right there. Um, but I would probably give it a shot. If let's see, you're in this mother bar situation here. So there's the fibs on that. I'm going to keep them over to the side because last week it just got all up in the way and I didn't like it. Okay, so yeah, until we get so that the point 0.5 of that mother bar will be 6278. I mean, some sort of close above that on a smaller time frame. I'm I might would give it a shot long with a fairly tight stop. Um, but we have all of this downside, that within this broadening formation that we absolutely could come back. I mean, if you wanted to view it as a pivot machine gun, you got one, two. They're not going to be lined up, but almost like a reverse pivot machine gun in a way. I'm gonna activate the Apex account here later this week. Maybe Monday or Tuesday. For sure by Wednesday. Let's see here. But yeah, so that's ES. We'll look at NQ. Why is that not? So NQ basically the same way here. But yeah, opening down 100, like, I'm kind of inclined to take a stab at a long here, especially on M and Q, and play it for this volume and balance. Um, so same thing on NQ. Doji, uh, failed two up red, semi created a broadening formation. We'll look at gold. 2 up week so far on gold. So if they do come back and touch this liquidity here at 3365, I probably would drip out an order there. We are in this mother bar here from 3412 down to 3269. But so far 2 up week there on gold. I like to draw the fib on the mother bar. It's just something I kind of came up with. It would not be strap based. Um, but it's something I started doing because Rob does talk about trading inside a mother bar, and he says certain people are really good at that, and I just noticed that I gravitated towards it. Um, oh, I don't want to do a fib. I want to do this for this broadening formation, which is super, super tight. But boy, do we have a massive, massive pivot machine gun to the downside if gold ever decides to pull back. I mean, look at all these pivots here. It's just, yeah. So all time high 35 ish, but 2 up to start the week there in gold. We'll look at platinum, probably same. Gonna be inside week more than likely on platinum because I say that to say that, of course, we are in a huge mother bar range, or I mean, broadening formation there, drawn a long time ago. But if they want a TTO here on platinum, the only thing is this was more of a hammer than a long wick situation on platinum. But there's going to be your tight broadening formation there, or larger broadening formation there on platinum. We'll take a look at oil. just try to kind of go through the major things here. Um, oh, hey, we're getting out of this no time soon on oil. None. No time soon. So from 78 to down to 63, that was 1 week candle back on the 23rd. Oh, that's right. I remember that. There was a huge sell off in oil. So yeah, so until I mean, we're just, as Rob would say, how are we going to get out of here? So, what you can do is, again, you can refer to his video called Trading Inside a Mother Bar. You could just look up Rob Smith, Trading Inside a Mother Bar. He'll kind of explain that situation. But yeah, I love trading inside a mother bar. Um, so yeah, so unless we break 65 ish to the downside on oil, I would say they're just gonna ping pong it back and forth there. We'll look at YM. I never look at YM, but what the heck. So again, stuck inside of another bar here on YM as well. Can go from here to here. Where's that little bitty wick? Right there. Um, there's your fib on the Dow. I don't trade YM, probably should. But I just never really just don't look at it a whole lot. I did want to look at some, I think LE is live cattle. Uh, LH would be the live hogs. I was just thinking about cattle because I remember being very high. So we did hit an all-time high last week on cattle. Cattle futures, man. That's why beef is so expensive. Um, but there would be your trend line, broadening formation there on cattle. Um, yeah, so there's your broadening formation there. Be interesting to see if how we open on it on Monday. Uh, VIX is low. Very interesting. Well, actually, no, it doesn't surprise me because the volatility, I mean, has been very slow. We'll take a look here at, I think this is the euro. Did want to take a look at Tesla. I haven't looked at it in a while. This is the 200-day moving average here. This is the 20. It's usually the only moving averages I look at, but as you can see from previous broadening formation, this is a broadening formation we're in. We're in a smaller, tighter one here. If you wanted to look at it, we could look at it like it's not at all where I want that. Thank you. Let's remove that. Yeah, so just you could argue one for here as well. Very, very small broadening formation. Very tight. But it's not going where I want it. So yeah, so until we get out of there, look at Boeing. Boeing had a nice week last week. Had a real nice week. However, they could have TTO'd right here and then come back inside to touch this price action here at about 218. If we get back to here, I would be interested in a long there on Boeing. Um, I'm a little upset with myself because I was looking at Boeing when it was like $100, and I think I had an alert. Maybe it just didn't go off. Well, it hasn't hit it this year. Hit a low 128, but huge broadening formation there on Boeing. Um, but I don't think Boeing's going anywhere. So I don't know what their dividend rate is or what they pay. I'm sure they do give some dividends. Yeah, they don't actually. That's very interesting. According to TradingView, they don't. I just don't follow a whole lot of stocks anymore because, I would rather trade SPX or futures. So, but I will use futures in order to trade SPX options. Don't know if anybody has any questions or not, but not a whole lot to go over, I don't think. I mean, if you just wanted to sit on your hands, it's probably not going to be a huge movement week. But that also could be a good thing, especially if you trade options, because you can employ a lot of different tactics as far as that. If you're not going to get, huge moves, then what you could do is you could do an iron condor. Be a perfect week almost to do an iron condor, in my opinion. Um, you could do 62.91 to the upside, maybe about 61.50 to the downside. As long as you can pretty much ping it within that, then you're gonna win on your iron condor. See if my bull and ox is up yet. Let's see here. All right, so there's my bull and ox that's ready. They usually get it ready in fairly quickly. Uh, and I love Project X. I wish that Apex would get Project X, but I don't see that happening because they're using wealth charts as their preferred platform now. Um, you don't have to use wealth charts with them. You can still use Trade and you can still use Rhythmic all day long with Apex. So I love that they're not forcing traders to use a specific platform. And they're offering everything. So they've got Trade Rhythmic, and also with and with Rhythmic, means that you can use Ninja Trader or Quant Tower. On Rhythmic, I actually prefer Quant Tower over Ninja, but that's just my preference. Um, and then they've got Well Charts. Well Charts is actually pretty good. I like it. Okay, it's not my favorite. But what I wanted to do for me was to learn every single platform out there because I feel like it would, make it to where if something happened and I needed to switch platforms, that I would be able to trade on any platform. And so that's the reason that I wanted to do that. So, here on the 15-minute, we are coming back to touch this liquidity here, um, of the previous body there. Uh, We'll see what this. So this second 15 minutes. Where is my clock? Okay, is inside bar. So unless we were to break 62.63 or 62.67, we kind of can't get out of here. Which means that as long as those hold, then you can add to your position in any way you choose. I will demonstrate that now. We'll just do it with a micro. We'll go along one micro.
Order filled.
And then, if it dips, as long as this holds, I can buy more. We'll do a stop down there. So yeah, as long as that holds, then I'm gonna play for up here. We'll do limit sell up here, just kind of at that liquidity there to demonstrate this. If you're gonna test something, I test it with micros, and I'm gonna test it with micros every single time versus testing it with a mini. So now what you could do, let's say you were heavy on minis, you could move your stop just below the body of this previous candle. But the way the strat would say was, well, it needs to go here, because the reason being is because you're not going to get out of here until, we break that either way. Let's see. For the Bullinox, $15.75. There you go. It would have been awesome with a mini, but like I said, for demonstration purposes, I wanted to change. I wanted to test that with a micro. Bruce, if you'll hang on a second, I will drop my link for Bullinox there. So you can feel free to use that. Please. I don't know how much because they got theirs on 91% off right now. Uh, on Bullinox, I don't think so. Hang on a second, man. Let me grab you. Hey, if you're who I think you are, I super appreciate you tuning in. I think you may be. Let's see. Hang on. Let me be safe here and open this in another tab.
Order filled.
Okay, so it filled my stop there. Let's see. One thing I am working on, and I think it just takes time, right? Is just working on like watching the market more than participating. And like, for instance, they're waiting on that first 15 minutes to play out and then hopping in, because okay, we're not getting out of that until we break it. So just just for those purposes. Let's see here. Okay. Here, I just linked my Bullinox. Oh, you're a stat. Okay. I thought you might be somebody else that I know named Bruce, but yeah, I only know one other guy that's trading the strat with futures. Like, well, and streaming it. Sarah of course trades a strat with futures. I don't know if Alex does, but pretty much, but I think I'm the only female trader trading the strat live on stream. Yeah, what's crazy is I basically had one of these past the Bullinox on Friday, and I got busy in the afternoon at work and I couldn't manage it the way I wanted, and I was in very heavy because I was trying to get it passed, and then it blew. But I honestly, like, I just didn't care. um, it was $15, so it wasn't. It's at that point I kind of looked at it as a scratch off lottery ticket. But um, who's that streaming? The guy Tom in Stat Trading's Discord. Tom, he sometimes will stream using the strat, but as far as I know, there is no other female besides me streaming the strat and trading futures with it. Well, I don't think there is with options either, except for Sarah, obviously. But besides her, I don't think there's anybody. So yeah, if anybody else is watching, I did put my Bullinox link in the chat. So feel free to use that. For Apex, you can use my code Blues Trades. They're 80% off right now. And day traders, I believe, is still 80% off. They do have straight to funded. However, you with them they do have on the straight to funded they have a 20% consistency rule. So you just have to be mindful of that. I don't prefer the straight to funded. Um, I actually prefer to go through the evaluation phase because for me, if you're gonna do straight to funded, you might as well just stick three, four, five, $600 into your own personal account. I don't really see the need to do um, a prop firm with straight to funded. But that's just my opinion. A lot of people like straight to funded. They don't want to have to deal with with the turnaround time on evaluation accounts, but they don't bother me. So the way I look at it is if I screw up a straight to funded account, that's three, four, $500 that just went out the window. So that's why I don't prefer to do those. Whereas with an evaluation account, it's $15 I just spent tonight. Anyway, I'm gonna test this
Order
again. I'll show
filled.
you guys. I'll add another one here. Uh, bye. Um, and stop would go way down here. Actually, it should go there, but anyway, take profit should go up here. Probably more so this body here at about 62.74 ish. But anyway, this is just for demonstration purposes. Obviously, no one should ever copy trade someone on stream because streams are delayed, and this is for entertainment purposes only anyway. So, and educational. I do like teaching the strat, so it's also for educational purposes. Entertainment and educational purposes only. Yeah, you can use mine. Blues trades. Try or actually, you might have to use Blues Queen 2-3. Let me see. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can pull one up. I don't think they gave me a custom code on there. I do have one on Apex as well as let's see day traders, but I don't think I have a custom one on Bullinox. So give me just a minute and I'll pull this up here and see if if there is a coupon code. No, I think as long as you use my link, it should give you one. Or I mean, it should
Order filled.
work. If you can't get it to work, use one of my buddy's codes. His code is Pine, Pine. Maybe I should email them and ask them for a custom code. So anyway, you can see it did sell me out there. Um, we could break this opening range here, 62.77, and head up towards 62.81. That is something I would be
Order
interested
filled.
in. In fact, I'm going to get back in. I'll put my stop back here at 62.72. So yeah. What Pines worked? Okay. I'll email him and tell him I made him an affiliate sale. Yeah, that's what I have as well. It's just a 50K. Yeah, you totally can. The 322s, yeah, with micros, absolutely. But honestly, I didn't want to get so aggressive on. I can't. There was one night we had. I just remember it. We had a gap at open, and I went long, and it just fell out of the sky, and I blew my account like live right right on stream. So this is like, yeah, we're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. But also I don't remember what kind of week we were having then as either. So all right, gonna move according to the strat. Let's here's the other thing. I need to start playing by rules, right? So strat rule and funded rule. We're gonna move our stop. It's not at break even, but I'm just gonna give this some time to play out here. Really, I want to move it. I want to move it back down here. Actually, it's just micros. It's not gonna harm anything, but I am trying to get in much better habits of moving stops where they should go, that sort of thing, and just being more cautious. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Bruce. Um, that's the other thing I've noticed about myself, because as we know as traders, uh you'll learn more about yourself than anything, right? Kind of like playing golf. I mean, because with golf you're really just battling yourself, but in the same way with trading, you really just, if I'm calm, I'm well rested, have some caffeine, eaten, um I can trade much better than just being like all frazzled. Which I still tend to do from time to time. So yeah, But yeah, and then also too with micros, like I I did some math over the weekend and just let's just say for instance, okay, NQ, and this is just MES right here, but okay, well let's just take MES since we're on it. I thought I was on NQ, but anyway, nonetheless. So, you know, MES or ES moves, I don't work for the post office, so I work for the VA. But so let's just say ES moves three anywhere from 30 to 50 points in one direction every day, right? Overall it probably moves it'll move anywhere from plus 30 back to 0 to negative 30. So let's just say 60, anywhere from 60 to 100 points per day. Okay? Um so let's just say on the low end you get 60 points, okay? Times with one micro. So that now again, this would you would have to catch the entire move. But let's just say that you did, on average 60 points per day. That's $750, and that's one micro, right? So let's just say you don't even catch all 60. Let's say you take 30 points, right? And so times 1250, now you're at 375. Okay, so $375 and you've only traded one micro. Okay, now let's switch to M and Q. M and Q moves roughly 200 points in one direction. Okay, it'll move up 200 or negative 200, back to 0 plus. But let's just say you only catch half of that. So you need 200 points times 2, that's 400. So now you take the 400 plus the 375. This is one micro on one MNQ and one MES. You got $775 for the day. Dude, I don't make that at my job, and I've been there 22 years. So I've just like had to really train myself and really, think like, okay, do part of my problem was I was chasing the perfect entry and exit. I was getting super close on both of them, but I wasn't getting the perfect. And so I was like, kept wrestling with myself about saying, I have to get the perfect entry. I have to get the perfect entry. And I just realized it just like clicked this week. And I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I could literally be super stress free, play one micro on MES and one micro on MNQ, and if I only catch half of it, I've made more money than I do going to work. So now, granted, I cannot leave my job. I mean, it's my career. I've been there long enough, and I really enjoy what I do. Of course, there's days, everyone has those days, but I really enjoy what I do, so I cannot leave my career. But this is some great extra side income, and I'm passionate about it. I really have fun trading. I have learned so much trading, probably more than I could ever learn anywhere else. And it's a blast. I mean, where else can you have this much fun? I mean, and make money on the side. So yeah, and eventually, I mean, I do hope this is a full-time career for me. Um, I am looking I am thankful for prop firms because I feel that it is a great way to really learn how to trade and not spend a ton of money doing it. So, and you can paper trade all you want, but until you really learn to trade and put some real money behind it. I mean, I used to tell people to paper trade all the time, but that's kind of futile in a way because if you don't have real money behind it, you can't experience those emotions that you have tied to real money, right? So I just think it's futile. I think it's futile. And they're coming back to fill that volume, well, at least a small volume imbalance for sure. So yeah, 62.79. Let's see if we can get 62.81. Dividends. Yeah, I've been thinking about dividends. I wanted to start in dividends when I was in my 20s, and the thing about the market at that point was, and I just remember walking into like, um, can't remember the name of it. It's like a Robert Jones or something. I can't remember what the name of those places were. They're probably still around. Who knows? Maybe they are. Raymond James. And I just remember walking into, and talking to this old guy that was in there, and I was like, I want to start investing, and they basically just brushed me off. I mean, it's it's just insane. Nobody was willing to help, when you're 18 years old. They just laugh at you like, yeah, you don't know what the hell you're doing, and then and plus they probably thought, well, I'm not going to help you because you don't have any money. So I just remember being interested in it then, and um so I'm really glad that the landscape has changed, because if you have a passion and you really want to learn to do this for yourself, is totally possible now, and you don't need a financial advisor. Hey, hit me up on Discord. I'm a blues girl on there, because I would totally do that, Bruce, for sure. So yeah, so look, first 15 minutes back inside, now two up. I see no other way to trade it without the strat. Like, I have to have it. I mean, I miss Rob so much, and but man, that man helped change my life. So probably come back around here. Um Put a limit buy right there, somewhere around in here. But yeah, probably gonna hit two up, maybe come back, test some liquidity, and then go up again. That is one thing about the strat. Sometimes it'll trigger, i.e., right now on this 5 minute, it'll trigger, come back, grab the liquidity, and then go again. So that was one thing I had to learn about the strat was, and Rob said it. He was like, you don't have to be the first one in. Well, it took me forever to figure out what he meant by that. And I think this is kind of what he meant by that, was that trigger, that first trigger may not always really go. And so you need to wait. Of course, he would never trade the open of any week. He would always wait and say, let him open. But, we can trade it. All right. I'm going to hop off here. You guys feel free to use my Apex code, Blues Trades, to get you 80% off right now. I also have a link to Bullinox. I'm going to email them and see if I can get a custom code from them. And then also, day traders, you do need to use my link and my code with day traders for me to get the affiliate, and that'll get you 80% off right now as well. They do have straight to funded. But yeah, so I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please feel free to like and subscribe. That really helps the channel, helps it grow, and feel free to share it with your friends, and try to get my channel to grow. I'm very close to 400 subscribers, so yeah, please like, subscribe, share it, all those sorts of things, and it really helps my channel. So all right, appreciate you guys tuning in. Bruce, thank you for tuning in and chatting, I really appreciate it. So, all right. Have a good night, everyone.